Let's go.
All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to One Thing for Certain.
One thing for certain.
I'm LA.
I'm Hollis.
This is Hollis. So each and every week, we're going to be addressing topics that are sent to us through Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media posts you care to use. So tonight's topic is a very controversial one. Is dating a friend's ex off limits? And I'm pretty sure we got some strong thoughts and opinions about that. So feel free to comment, feel free to message us. So with that being said, you want to start with that?
Man, it's off limits, bro. Off limits. You know.
Okay. Just no, there's no stipulations or anything. Nothing. There's absolutely no reason.
It's safer to stay away. It's safer to stay away.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you a question. So let's say you're dating someone, and because in my opinion, it depends on how long the breakup has been. I'm gonna put it like that.
Okay.
For instance, if I'm dating someone and we break up, and let's say a month later, I see you dating her, then yeah, I won't even lie, I have a problem with that.
Okay.
Now, if we break up and 3 years later, I see you guys out dating, I'm gonna be like, okay, it's because 3 years is a long time. So you don't think there should even be a time limit? It just point blank off limits.
It depends on how close you are as friends, and it depends on how serious the relationship was. There's no time limit on a serious relationship. If you dated someone seriously and you my partner, you my boy, ain't no way she off limits.
All right, well, you brought up an interesting point because you said it depends on how serious the relationship was.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's casual, it's not a problem.
It's still messy, but more tolerable if that happens. It's still off limits for me, but it's still there's some stipulations around it.
See, I just think that I think my point is if a certain amount of time has passed.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, most breakups, like let's say I go out right now and I meet somebody and we're interested in each other, and I asked her, I said, are you single? And she go, yeah, me and my boyfriend broke up 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
They're not really broke up in my opinion.
Agreed.
A lot of times there's what's that? They call it the cool down period,
mm-hmm.
where somebody says something, somebody did something, and we're not talking to each other. So you're in that cool down period. That's how I feel about it.
Agreed.
So in that case, I'm thinking to myself, okay, now if we start talking to each other, let's say I asked her, and she said, "Oh, we've been broke up. I've been single for a year." Okay, I'm not saying a year is my time frame. I'm just saying everybody has a different time frame. I just think 2 weeks ain't really a breakup in my opinion.
Agree.
But she said, "Oh, we've been broke up a year, and it's a legit year." And I'm like, because it's a big world. It might be somebody that she dated, and I don't even know that I know the same guy. I'm like, wait a minute, I know this guy.
But see, but then that doesn't count.
If I didn't know, why would it not count?
Because you didn't know. If I didn't know my current girlfriend and you dated 2 years ago, by the time I find out, we're already dating. I didn't violate any rules. In this situation, ignorance is an excuse.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying it's okay if I didn't know it was your girlfriend.
If I didn't know y'all dated before,
yeah. But don't you think it'd still be awkward?
It would definitely be awkward. Absolutely.
I still think that would be. I think even if you knew or didn't know, I still think it's the same situation, to be honest with you.
And to be honest, depending on how close we were or how long we dated,
yeah.
If that situation arises, that even could be grounds to break up.
Really?
Could be.
Wow.
Could be.
Thoughts on that. I mean, okay.
Because if, for example, I just relocated back to the area.
Okay.
If we dated before and I come back and I find out that y'all dating now, our friendship may be altered because of that. Because now if I have a gathering, I have friends over, it depends on, was it a messy breakup? Was there wrong done? It's a lot that goes into it.
I still think it's a maturity issue because
Absolutely.
Because if you like, let's say somebody asks you, like, you know, and this is just hypothetical. I'm not saying if somebody comes and say, hey, you know, I know you and her dated, I know you and him dated, but you know, they're kind of interested in me.
Okay.
And that person says, all right, you know, that's fine. Does that give you the green light? Like if me, like for instance, if me and my girlfriend broke up and she became interested in you.
Okay.
And you call me up and say, hey, you know, LA, you know, your girl called me last night and, you know, she kind of wants to go out. You have a problem with it.
You didn't violate.
I didn't?
No. Let's say
you didn't violate.
Say she called
you.
And then I called you. And I said, hey,
okay, so what if I tell you, hey, okay. I said, you know, fine. Then
I'm not violating because I got your blessing.
So it is okay to date somebody's ex. Basically, you're saying as long as you get the green light from somebody.
If you get the green light, then that's not violent. I still wouldn't do it because it's still messy. There's still, we hanging out, you have a cookout, I have a cookout, you come over, I come over to your place, I bring her.
Because I remember one time you said that you didn't want it to seem as if there was feelings before y'all broke up with each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But to me, I wouldn't do it because that's just messy. To me.
Like, I know a situation where somebody started dating a friend of their ex, and she told the guy that I was interested in you the entire time.
Oh.
Now that's messy.
That's
because even if that's true, you don't tell anybody.
But
that.
Either way, it's messy. You can't clean that up. If somebody had emotions involved, no matter what they say, oh no, you good, bro, you good. Nah, that's just messy. That presents problems.
Let me tell you now. Listen,
it's a big world.
I had a situation where somebody told me, yeah, that it wasn't even a serious relationship. Right? It was literally a casual relationship, and she became interested in me, and he was like, oh, I don't care. You know, it don't. You know, that's fine. It was that big of a deal. It's not like it was serious.
That's pride,
right? The minute me and her went out on the first date, he was in his feelings.
Absolutely.
And my thing is, like, why would you tell? If you knew you cared about her or you had these feelings,
pride.
Why not just tell me?
Pride.
I'm just like, you know, you should have never told me. Because I'm like this. If I know it's gonna bother me, I'm gonna tell you. Like, no, you know.
But that's why you don't those boundaries. One thing I've always lived by is don't shit where you eat.
Yep, that's true.
My friend's ex, you off limits. There's another 3 billion women out here to find.
That's true. But you know, sometimes you can't help the situation. I mean, because if you're out shopping, let's say you're in Best Buy looking for a speaker wire, and you run into somebody that you know, one of your friends dated 2 years ago, and your guys start talking. There might not have been any attraction at the time, but now you guys are talking. The conversation is really good.
But at what point is my homeboy gonna come into the conversation? Oh, you used to date LA. Yeah.
So okay, that throws a dynamic into the question.
Absolutely.
So should it come up? How long? When should a homeboy come into the picture? When should his name come up? Because you already know that it's my ex.
Yes.
Okay, you already know that. That's already known.
So
you and her. So
can't violate from that point.
When you say we need to tell LA, or when we, you know.
Well, the moment I see you, you're still your ex. You're not a brand new person. I'm not meeting somebody for the first time. I'm meeting your ex again. So I don't see you as a brand new person. I see you as their ex. That's your ex. So for me to go forward with anything is violating the friendship in my mind.
Have you ever had that happen?
What?
To you personally?
No.
Really?
Never. Not that I know of. I mean, you never know what happens, but I've never been the one to pursue.
So that you know of.
No.
So you never had somebody date, one of your friends never had dated one of your exes before?
Not that I know of, no.
All right. Good question. So I have. Let me rephrase that. They didn't date her, but they asked about dating her.
Ooh. And how did you feel about that?
Well, I'm like you. My first question was that, okay, at what point were you liking her like that?
Exactly. So there's no clean way to do it. So He came to you.
Well, okay, let me say this. In this case, the breakup was fresh. Like,
Oh, okay.
it wasn't even a month.
Oh, see.
And I'm like, and then he caught me off guard because he's like, hey, what's going on with you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're not together. He's like, oh, really? So at that moment, he didn't ask me a thing.
Mm.
So a couple of days later, he's like, hey, you mind if I get her phone number?
Oh,
like,
see, that's
now in my mind, I'm thinking, and honestly, this is where, okay, you had a good point, because this is where pride comes in. Because in my mind, my pride was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give him the number. Because I don't want him to think that I'm all in my feelings.
Exactly.
So I said, yeah, here you go. Here's the number. Now, she called me because he literally called her. Wow. He did not waste time. He called her. So she called me. And she was not happy about the fact that he called her. And I'm thinking, so why are you mad with me?
And I commend her for being upset because, again, a woman that can respect that code, that says something about her.
That's true.
Because that's a good thing.
That's true. Because
hopefully it should be two people that don't want to violate that code, that neither one of them will take it there.
That's true.
Because the first to introduce that type of conversation, that's a violation.
Wow. It is. So I guess, long story short, to answer the question, well, did he give our opinion on the question? So you think as long as there's a time period there? No, seriously.
I'm going to say, to me, it's a no-go either way. Unless we're talking about high school dated, and then now we're adults.
Okay.
That's okay.
So let's say me and my girlfriend break up, and it's been 3 years. And I know you said you wouldn't do it, but if it's been 3 years,
still off limits.
And hypothetically, again, you ask me like, hey, blah, 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 we ran at each other, we kind of want to go out. I'm thinking to myself, it's been 3 years. Because more than likely, 3 years, I probably moved on anyway.
You have, but it's not about that.
So you don't think if you moved on, it's okay?
No.
So what if you moved? So if you moved on to someone else, you still wouldn't want somebody dating your ex?
Not one of my partners. You my man, 50 grand, that's off limits. You violating. Because now the fact that you would even entertain that means I can't look at you the same.
But you with somebody else.
And he should go find somebody else.
In this case, I gotta disagree with you on that one, because I feel like if I moved on and I'm in another relationship with somebody, and you want to date my ex that I've been broke up with for 3 years, then go for it.
I'm gonna say no.
Because if I haven't got over her in 3 years,
it's not even getting over her. It's about the bond.
Well, most of the time, the issue is when you talk about dating somebody's ex is because one person ain't got over the other person. Because it's a lot of times people, their pride will not let them admit they have not got over somebody.
That's true too. But I'm assuming the feelings are past. My issue is not with her, it's with him. You my bruh, you can't do that. Because now I wouldn't want to date one of my homeboys' ex, because now again we have a get together, we have a cookout.
Yeah.
Now she knows your house, she knows the layout of your house. I come to your house, she's like, "Oh, let me grab some scissors." I know he keeps the scissors in the drawer. She's been there in intimate situations. I don't want to go to that place with my new significant other. I don't want to look at her the same. I don't want that. We friends, we all together. You get drunk, she get drunk one night. Who knows what gets said? Anything, it just opens the door for a messy situation.
When it comes to a guy, guys will let their pride get involved. Most of the time, a female, if it's two females, they'll tell you. I think they'll be honest and tell you, like, yeah, if you want to date them, go ahead. Guys got too much pride to say, It's not about pride. It's about you don't do certain things are off limits. You don't violate that friendship, that trust, that bond. I'm sorry, you just can't do it to me. Now,
that's off the table.
If you're adults, I think if you're mature adults, I think it's a conversation that you can have.
You can have the conversation, but if
and I think
I'm not going to look at the same,
I think you should let them make the choice.
They can, but I'm not going to look at him the same. Just not.
Why? Because you always feel like if you bring your current girlfriend or any future girlfriends around me, I'm going to be looking at them and interested in them.
It's more so, can I trust you? If you are my brother,
okay,
and we like that, my ex should be off limits because again, there are millions, billions of other women to choose from.
That's
why
true.
did you choose one that I had a connection with?
But what if they chose you? You keep saying that you can choose from other women.
Yes.
What if that particular woman chose you?
It take two to tango. It take two.
All right.
It's a meeting of the minds. It's like a legal binding contract. It take two people saying yes for that to happen. So to me, it's you off the table. I can't.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. Interesting topic. Tell us what you think. Obviously, we got a couple of different views on it. Interested to see what you guys think. With that being said, hit us up with these questions. Again, we're on Instagram. Hit us up on Facebook. And each week we'll be bringing different questions. Sometimes we'll just have general topics without a question that we just want to talk about. Mm-hmm. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And again, we will see you on the next podcast. Peace.